Hi friends, welcome to Code Jana and let's continue making our Flask app. Alright, so in our last video we left our app like this. So let's quickly check if our app is still working. So I'm going to activate my virtual environment and then python run.py. Alright, so the server is running. Let's click on this link and it's working. Alright, so now what we are going to do is we are going to create this homepage that you've seen in checklisttool.com, like here. So we are going to use some Bootstrap components to make this web page. So let's get started. And first of all, let's delete everything that we do not need. So in homepage.html, delete all of this. Alright, now we are working with a blank slate. Let's refresh the page. And yes. Alright, so first of all, we are going to create this navigation bar. So let's open v5.getbootstrap.com, click on docs, and now you can either navigate to components and then this navbar, or you can search quickly in navbar here and click on this navbar/navbar. Alright, so now let us scroll down and pick the navbar that you are actually going to use. Now this particular here, some people use the search bar as well. We do not need that much functionality. This one looks fine actually. We need the website text here, like a brand name or something. Then we need some links to our home page, account page, and about page. And on the right corner that we do not see here, we are going to be needing a sign up button and a login button. Alright, so we are going to create that on the fly. So let's copy this particular code. Let's copy this. And since we already know that the navigation bar is going to appear on every single one of our page, so we are not going to make the change in just home page. We are going to make it in layouts.html. So just before this closing head tag, let's move it down. We are going to paste that complete code. Now without making any changes, let's just refresh our page. Alright, so we have our navigation bar in place. Now let's change few things so that it looks the way that the earlier one looks. Alright, so first of all, I'm going to increase the size. Alright, now, so it already has everything that we need. Now we want a darker tone towards the background. So bg-light will become bg-dark, and all of this CSS is already defined in Bootstrap CSS. So we don't need to make any changes, and down the road you will learn how to make these changes in classes to get the effect that you want. For example, with bg-dark it becomes darker, and this navbar.light, let's make it navbar-dark. Alright, so refresh that, and as you can see, it has quickly changed all the buttons to white color, which is much more visible now. Alright, so let's make some basic changes here. We don't need this navbar. We need, let's say, CJ Flask app. It looks more appropriate, maybe like this. Great. Now let's quickly change all of these functions here. We don't need it to go all of this. I'm just showing you how to make these changes, and you can select the pages that you want to show there. So for this particular example, I need a home link, and then I want it to go to our account and then our about page. Now you already know that in our routes.py we had created this account route, this about route, and I have also created this register route. For now, let's delete this and we will create it together. Alright, so now we have home, about, and account. So since we already have that route defined, we can actually make these links work. For now, let's refresh it, and we have this home, account, about, and this disabled button, which we don't actually need. So it's right here, this from the start of this link tag and up to the end of it. So let's delete that. Alright, now at the end of this page, I want the sign up and the login button. So let's go back to our Bootstrap, and this time click on this navs button. And we need some simple links, but we need them to be right defined. All of these are left defined. So this one is the center aligned, and this one is right defined. So let's copy this particular code And now we're going to paste it. Now where should we paste it? Now this particular these items are actually inside this div tag. All right, so this one. So whatever we place right after this unordered list will actually get stuck to this area. All right, but we want it to be right defined, so we will paste it after all of these div elements. So let's, after this last closing div, let's paste this, and without making any changes, just refresh the page, and there we go, we have it. So now what's happening now? It has, you know, doubled that, and it is not showing in a proper way. So don't worry about that. We just need to make a small change. Let's make Navbar class and then nav. So we need this class to make it inside of this particular tag, because so we don't need this disabled button here, and we also don't need this another link. So I'm going to delete both of them up to this opening link tag, and we have this active button and this link. So the first one we need is sign up, and the other one we need as login. You can also name it register if you are not comfortable with sign up, but sign up looks good. So let's begin creating our routes. All right, so we have this pound symbol here because these are all dummy links. All right, so nothing is going to happen if we click on it. So let's quickly create the links right now. So in this home page, we are going to use Ginger templates, just like this one, this hyperlink reference that we created to our main.css. In this particular fashion, we are going to define these links as well. So we start off with this curly braces, and then we will type URL for function, and this time URL for function is going to simply take the function name. So that's why I've opened this in split mode. So we have defined the home page function for the home route. So this name will go inside the URL for function. So that's good. Now in account link, we wanted to send to this account function. All right. So it's quite simple. Curly braces, and then inside URL for function, and inside that goes our function name. So that's account. Now I'm just going to quickly copy this because we want it to be done with this quickly. All right, now this one is about. See this about function. All right, so now let's save it just for security. Refresh it, and now let's try clicking on our link. So in account, good, it loads our account URL. If we had not created that account properly, for example, let's just delete this T because we do not have any function named account, so it will throw an error. Let's go to our home and see it has thrown an error that there is no endpoint name account. So let's fix that and refresh it, and great. Let's check about route. So the name is also updated on the left corner, as you can see. So all of our pages are working. Now this particular name, the brand name, it is not properly redirecting, so it is right here. So I'm just simply going to copy the hyperlink reference of home and then paste it just before this hyperlink reference. All right, so since both of them are going to go to home page, it's okay. Let's refresh it and click on it, and yes, now it's working. The same goes for sign up and login route as well. However, as you can see, we have not created any route for that. Even if we type something like this, like URL for, and then suppose we had named it register. All right, so it is not going to work. Let's refresh it, and it fails because we do not have an endpoint name register. So I hope by now you already know that we need a route for it. So let's create a route for it. Now start off with the decorator and decorator of app variable. All right, then access the methods, and then now state the endpoint, which is register. So first we need to create a route, and then we can use the URL function here. So we have created the register route as well. Now this name can be anything. This name does not equal to this name. All right, what we have written here is the function name, so we need to define a function with the same name. So register. Alright, and now what this will return? It will return the register page from where the user can register, or the sign up page. So let's run the template, and we are going to create a template with the name register.html, and the title of that will be register or sign up, again as you prefer. So we have created this render template as well. Let's see, yes, it is properly finished. And now at this moment it is not going to work again, because when it will go to this URL, let's first of all refresh it, and our server has crashed. So let's just use the up arrow to bring down the last command that you have written, and just run the server. And now let's refresh the page. Good. So the page is refreshing properly. Now we have created this register route, right? So let's click on it, and boom, template not found. So as I said, we need a register.html that we have defined here. So where do we create it? Click on this explorer, then hide this one. In templates, you need to create a register.html. So register.html. Alright, so now it is there. So same things are going to be applied here. We need to extend this layouts.html. Great. We also need this block content. And now let's close this block content. Now, as you notice that I have not copied and pasted this one, because we don't need that one on the register page. If we do, we will manually create another JS just for this register page. For now, let's keep it simple. And in this, for now, let's write h1 tag, and this, let's say sign up. Alright, so let's say sign up. And this time our template is ready. So let's refresh the page, and boom, it's working. So right now it looks very bland, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Our home page still needs work. So just last thing, we need to create a login file as well. So let's create this route as well. Now let's select all of this, Alt Shift and down arrow to copy it. And then the route name should be login. Define a function with the same name. Again, the render template name will be login.html. The title will be login. All right. And now let's make it smaller. Now in this last link, the login link, we can use the URL for function, and then just type the function name, login. All right. So now all of our navigation links are working. Let's try clicking on it. So our server has failed. All right, now let's refresh it. It's working. So all of our links are now working. Sign up page is working. Login page is not working. Again, my bad. We will create a login page quickly. So login.html. All right, and since nearly everything is going to be same at this point, let's copy all of it from register.html inside this login.html and change this one to login. All right, let's refresh it, and every single link is working.